Ready?
Yes.
Okay. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the June 2024 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year. Joining me today is Commissioner Aaron Mays. Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioner Bill Rippon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Our county clerk, Ms. Beck, is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
And then our county councilor, Ms. Reckert.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, our first item.
Can I, Jennifer, where's the vouchers?
There are none.
I was gonna get there. That is coming up.
Oh. They're on, I knew that. Okay, I just, yeah, because I have the correct orders. Usually I don't have those. Good morning. Item 3, consent agenda is the first item.
Are there any questions or is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business, A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Well, the clerk stole my thunder. I think y'all will be disappointed to learn that there are no voucher payments
Yeah.
today, so.
And, yeah, you know, because of the timing of the holiday and such, what, like it was, so we just
All right.
didn't, but, okay. Item 2, A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item A3, consider approval of resolution number 2024-44, authorizing a temporary 2024 cereal malt beverage license to Jared Beam to sell beer at 720 Northwest 50th Street, Sunrise Optimist Club, for Seaman High School's class of 1989. They're not having a party for the 2024 class. It's for the 1989 reunion to be held on that date. And we had all of the, it has been reviewed by the counselor's office. We had the normal KBI investigation, and the township was notified, and everything was okay on our side. So,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, Public Works number 1, consider awarding a bid to Contact Engineering Solutions LLC of Lawrence, Kansas, and Metal Culverts, Inc. of Jefferson City, Missouri, for aluminized and galvanized metal culverts and end sections. Funding depends on the size of the culvert and its location of use.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. This is something I haven't done for a couple years because of COVID. Culvert prices got so speculative up and down that I felt like it was a disadvantage to bid out something like this over the course of a year. So I'm back to doing that, though. I think prices have stabilized to the point in which I can do that. And so I'm here before you asking you to approve 2 contracts or 2 agreements. Number 1 with Contact Engineering Solutions for the vast majority of the sizes and types of pipe that we need during the course of a year of road maintenance. And then some products could only be provided by Metal Culverts Incorporated of Jefferson City, Missouri. So I'd also like you to approve an agreement with them for those sizes that we may need. They are typically culverts of a larger gauge thickness, and it's probably unlikely we'll need them, but you never know. So with that, I look forward to your questions.
Questions?
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B2, consider awarding bid to Sunflower Paving, Inc. of Lawrence, Kansas for a pavement replacement and repair project at the Manor Conference Center's north which is adjacent to 17th Street, and West, which is adjacent to Western Avenue, parking lots at a cost of $240,566.50, and authorization and execution of contract C 202-2024 with the same entity. Construction will be funded using the 2024 Roof and Parking Lot Fund.
We had a letting June 5th. We received a single bid from Sunflower Paving. It was a good bid. We've had good experiences with Sunflower Paving, so we'd like to move forward with this award. Work would start July 1, and it needs to be done by August 19th. This is a strange time period. It's 50 days, calendar days, but we're trying to work around large events at the Manor and Conference Center and Heritage Hall. So with that, I look forward to your questions.
Questions? I do have one. This is going to be, those are panels. Are they just replacing the panels that are affected, or are they replacing the entire parking lot?
Just those panels that have degraded to the point they need to be replaced.
Okay, that's the only question I had, and I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B3, consider awarding bid to Sunflower Paving, Inc., Lawrence, Kansas, for street and storm sewer improvements in Sterling Chase Subdivision Number 5, Phase 1, at a cost of $736,703, and authorization and execution of contract C-203-2024 with the same entity. Construction will be funded via a 31-lot benefit district created under Resolution 2024-22.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. On that same June 5th, we had a bid letting for this Sterling Chase Subdivision Number 5, Phase 1. There were two bids in this case, Sunflower Paving and Bettis Asphalt and Construction. Like before, Sunflower Paving was the lowest best bid, and we're asking you to award that bid for approximately $736,000. I'm not sure when work will start yet. As soon as I know, I will let you know, but I'm sure it'll, knowing the developer, he wants to get moving real quickly, and real quick, I should say, and so I look forward to your questions.
Any questions?
I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Kurt, thank you. Our next item.
Item C, Health Department Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-204-2024, a renewal agreement with the Kansas Department of Health and Environment and the Shawnee County Health Department, which will provide $3,000 to help control tuberculosis in Shawnee County for the contract period July 1, 2024 to June 30, 2025.
Good morning, Commissioners. Carrie Delphs, Clinical Services Division Manager with the Health Department. This morning, we're asking for your approval to renew this agreement with KDHE for some funding for our TB control activities. This grant typically pays for labs, imaging, other things that patients may need if they're undergoing treatment for tuberculosis, infection, or disease. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item D, County Councilor Number 1, consider approval to adopt the 2024 Parks and Recreation Advisory Board bylaws.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rich Eckert, Shawnee County Councilor. The Commissioners have advised the Councilor's Office to go through the bylaws of all of our various boards, and I believe last year, County Councilor Jim Crow completed the Stormont Vale Advisory Board minutes, and then we decided that the next issue to tackle would be the Parks and Rec Advisory Board. So we've spent several months working on these. Some of these were actually even sent to the advisory board before even I got here. So this has been several months in the making. The advisory board has had these for quite some time. We have had a couple of changes that we sent them at the last meeting. They have been reluctant to review them. A couple of times I brought them up during various meetings and they did not review them. So at the last meeting, they were informed that this is coming on the agenda. This is their final chance to talk about them. The only thing that they talked about was a provision that I'm going to get to here in a moment about term limits. And they, on a 4-3 vote, recommended denial or in the negative about that particular term. They then refused to vote on the rest of the proposed changes. So they've had ample opportunity to go over these, and this is where we're at today. So when I got here and I was informed that we were now working on Parks and Rec Advisory Board, I did talk with several members of Parks and Rec. I wanted to know how it worked for them and what changes we could make. I attended some meetings and watched the dynamics of the particular board. And so we did make, finally, we got to the point where we were ready to have enough changes, send them to the board, and we were comfortable bringing them to here, to you. So my memo outlines what I think are the 7 bullet points, the 7 things that are the major changes. And I'll just go over those very briefly. We did change the name of the board back. The word advocate was in the board. And that was not in the interlocal. That was something that happened afterwards. We weren't sure why it was put in there, and we were not sure. An advisory board is an advocacy board anyway. They're advising you, the board of county commissioners, what they think should happen. Or they're giving you their ideas. They're giving additional thoughts to whatever is brought before them. So it seemed a little bit duplicitous, so we did remove that. Section 4.04 now includes a 2-term limit for each member, and each term is 3 years. So you have a possibility of having 6 years on the board. I will say that there is a fair amount of demand from your patrons, from citizens of Shawnee County who want to be on this board. So perhaps, unlike other boards where it might be a struggle to find people, that's not true with this board. So it does seem like this board should have a shorter, and I think 6 years is probably a shorter a term for someone, or 2 terms, but I think that works well here. We cleaned up another section, 4.09, about standing committees. The standing committees didn't seem to be doing any work on their own. Some of them, when you went back and looked at them, concerned the merger, like there was no reason for that committee to exist. So what we moved to instead was getting rid of all the standing committees, and now we're going to allow the chair of the advisory board to put together an ad hoc committee, or a committee that he or she believes needs to happen for particular projects in front of them right now, to form a committee in that fashion. And the current chair did seem to like that idea. 4.12 gives the Board of County Commissioners the ability to remove any member of the advisory board. Sometimes dynamics just don't fit, personalities don't fit, and we thought it would be wise to make sure that the BCC has the ability to remove someone. And by the way, we're putting that in all of our advisory boards. That's a new term that we're putting in. I will point out that some of these members are selected by the city. It's our belief that if you remove a member, that member would have to be replaced by the city. So I don't know that the city would have too much of an objection. 4.13 is we beefed up the power to use virtual meetings due to attendance issues that, you know, during COVID, Teams and Zooms and everything else seems to have taken off. So it wasn't very clear. It was actually discouraged in our bylaws. So now we clean that up and make sure that everyone knows that they can use that if they need to. Section 6.01 has been eliminated. That forced the advisory board to use Robert's Rules of Order. I don't know why that was put in there, to be honest with you. And it doesn't make sense to have such a formal way of handling a meeting when it's simply an advisory board. It's not a management board. So once you realize that it's an advisory board, then it also doesn't make any sense to have such a formal way of doing business. And then 6.02 just kind of formalizes how they're going to determine their own order of business. They can do that by motion. So those are the major changes. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them the best I can.
On the ability to remove a member from the advisory board, if they are a city person, if a city council member appoints a member to the advisory board, and they feel that they're being a great advocate for city interests. Because again, this comes back from the consolidation of the Shawnee County and City of Topeka Parks and Rec departments, and we remove somebody. Would they have the ability to reappoint? I mean, I guess it becomes circular in nature. If they think, you know, this is really who I want, this is the person that should be there, if we remove them, could they reappoint them? Does that create the internal conflict?
They can certainly send the name back over, but there is, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it immediately, but this board puts the member on the advisory board. So the city makes a recommendation, but it comes here and it's on our agenda for you as the board to place that person on the agenda.
Okay. The secondary question that I had was as to timing. I don't note that there are any members of the advisory board present. We have, or I have received emails from advisory board members regarding the issue specifically as it relates to term limits. Were they notified, or was there a notice to the advisory board that this would be on the agenda for today?
I believe at the meeting, we told them that it would come up today. I don't know if there's an email, but they were told at the meeting that this would be coming on this date.
I only question that, given that our agendas for today's meeting would have went out on Tuesday, with yesterday being a holiday. Some people may not have been paying as close attention as they would have otherwise, and I would hate to have a lack of transparency or a argument from the advisory board that we had not been transparent and allowed them to be able to weigh in on this issue.
There's no pressing issue that this has to be passed today. We can certainly defer it to the next county commission meeting.
Okay. Other questions? Commissioner Rippon?
If you have a member of the advisory board that's been on there for, say, 8, 9 years, does this take effect? Or do these new rules, does the term start now? I don't know. Or
No,
as soon
it
as
would
we
take effect immediately.
take effect?
There will be gaps that both boards will have to, both municipal organizations will have to fill.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Other questions?
So, in here, I believe it does say members who have already served more than one term will be allowed to complete their current term. But it doesn't specifically address somebody that's in their second term or third term or, you know.
Well, that provision addresses people that are in their second term.
Uh-huh.
In their third term, they would be off the board.
Okay.
There's a board meeting next week. So if you wanted to defer, everyone who's on that board has the opportunity to come to that meeting and still be a board member.
Okay.
But it would take effect after that.
Okay.
Jessica, don't we meet next Tuesday?
We do.
Commissioners,
I
know
will
that,
say this, if you pass it today, we might not have a quorum on Tuesday. The other thing is that these requirements, they don't mandate that that board meet monthly. It mandates that they meet at least once a quarter.
pleasure of the commission to take action now or to defer to next Thursday?
I'm fine with either, but, I mean, I understand your concerns with transparency. I've been approached, I know, by 2 members, I believe, both for and against term limits. But, I mean, if you feel it's gonna be a problem, maybe we just treat this as the way that we do a home rule resolution with a first reading, and then that gives us an additional chance to make amendments if we see any that need to be made in the next few weeks, in the next week or so. I guess probably do it next week.
Also,
Oh my.
that's coming out of your salary.
Is that a construction issue?
Pardon?
Is that a construction issue?
It's a long tie issue.
Oh,
So
is that a-
that would allow the advisory board to, again, have that final review of these before we take final action on Tuesday. and then we would be able to take up the item on Thursday as to what we should do with the advisory board. So, any objection to deferring it to Thursday?
Not at all.
Then I would, yes, Madam Clerk.
Is there not, next Thursday, is that not the beginning of, Jennifer?
It is, but we had planned on being able to take up vouchers, consent items, and I know we have one other item that we have to take up. So
Alright,
it
I
would
just-
be,
yeah.
it would be an abbreviated agenda.
Okay.
I've planned on next Thursday being an abbreviated agenda, given that we're going to be taking up budget.
Okay, just check on that.
All right, so, then I would make a motion that we defer this until next Thursday.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. We'll take up this item next Thursday. Thank you. Our next item.
Item 5, public comment.
Is there any, Mr. Post, I know you've signed up.
Well, good morning, Commissioners. Paul Post on behalf of Sunflower Music Festival, which I'm pleased to announce is beginning tomorrow evening at 7:30 at White Concert Hall. This is our 37th offering of this festival, starting clear back in 1987. And these are 8 concerts starting on Friday and going through a week from Saturday, including classical music and jazz music. We have about 45 musicians who are in town, and these are really world-class musicians who have come from all over the country, some internationally, to participate in this event. I want to just highlight one of them. James Thatcher is our principal horn player, French horn sometimes called, and he has billing in the following movies: Titanic, Legends of the Fall, Glory, and A Beautiful Mind. So this is a gentleman who's well respected in the movie community, Hollywood community, and he comes to Topeka every year, and believe me, we really don't pay him what he's worth. We're essentially a shoestring organization, but these musicians come to Topeka because they love coming to Topeka. There are other communities, other cities that have wonderful music festivals. Santa Fe Festival comes to mind. But the difference is our musicians really are of a bit higher quality. Our concert venue, White Concert Hall, according to these musicians, is one of the top 5 concert halls in the United States. So they love coming to Topeka to play in that concert hall for free to our community. So to the commissioners, to the audience here, to anybody who's watching online, we would encourage you to come out. This is, again, a free concert series. You might say, well, I'm not really into classical music, or I'm not into jazz. Well, come on out and give us a try. It's not going to cost you any money. It's an air-conditioned venue, so you can get out of the heat and come see what you think. We'd love to have anybody who's interested come join us for one or all of the concerts. And so I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. Here's our program from last year, and we'll have a similar program offering for the 2024 concert series, again, our 37th offering here in Topeka. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we need to be concerned about that?
Is that a smoke detector?
Our law enforcement is not alerting us, so we do hear a beeping. Is there any other individuals wishing to speak on public comment? Seeing none, our next item.
Item 6, administrative communications.
Is there any administrative communications? Commissioner Mays?
Neil would like.
Well, in my district, there is gonna be a little bit of a road construction on 41st Street. One day repaving, I believe. Is it chip and seal or? Oh, okay. Okay, so it has to do with the Sherwood Pump Station projects. Is that, when does that close? Is it this weekend, Saturday? No.
Just for today and tomorrow.
Today and tomorrow, okay, so, yeah.
Commissioner Rippon?
I don't have anything to add.
The only item that I have is just a note that we were notified of the passing of Kimberly Wolf. Ms. Wolf had worked with Shawnee County as Parks and Recreation for engagement and also with the Parks for All Foundation, and so we're very saddened to hear of her passing and passing on our thoughts to her family at this time. So, our next item.
Item 7, executive session.
There is not a need for an executive session today, so we are adjourned.